here from Music Resource Center. Today we're going to talk about humbucking guitars, and we're going to go over how to use a guitar amp. So these two behind me are humbucking guitars. Look very familiar. This is an Epiphone based off the Gibson 335 guitar, and you'll see that these pickups are pretty wide. Same here on this Gibson SG, and as well as this Les Paul looking Zemitis guitar. All of these are very nice, different tones, but all very similar in electronics. So how this works is if I play the guitar and have the switch down, this has the bridge pickup activated. Now the bridge pickup is the pickup closest to the bridge of the guitar, and this volume knob controls the volume, and this is the tone knob. So I usually like it all the way up, but if you lower it, it's more of kind of a mellow sound. So you can get a lot of tonality from just these knobs. You can lower the volume as well and kind of get a lower output sound, and then you can crank it up. I usually like keeping everything up all the way and get the best tone out of that. But if you want a specific sound, you can always adjust that, which is really great. So that's just one pickup. But if you use this toggle switch, and I put that in the middle, both pickups are then activated. And you can control your tone knobs. It'll sound more warmer sounding, rounder, and I can crank it back up and crank them both back up, and they sound clearer that way. I can also turn down the volume on one and it will shut it off. So you can kind of use some cool effects by just adjusting that volume knob. And then if I want to have the activate the neck pickup, I put the switch up. And then these controls, this is the volume, and this is the tone for just that specific pickup. So you can get a lot of different sounds with just this guitar. There are other guitars we'll be going over in other videos, single coil pickups, which are half the size, and P90 pickups, which are single coils as well. They're just a little wider. But why these are called humbuckers is because there's actually two single coil pickups together, as you can see here, and they cancel the hum out by placing them together, which is pretty cool. Kind of a great design. So you don't really hear any noise. Now when we go over the single coil pickups at a later video, you'll hear that they're kind of noisy, but they sound really great. So as far as, I have this guitar plugged into this Fender amp here, and this is kind of a great starter amp. There's actually a lot of, it's pretty simple controls. You have your treble, middle, bass, has reverb on it, which is really nice. And then there's a channel switch to go from clean to overdrive. So I activate the overdrive, get my distortion there, which is really great. If we're going back to the clean channel, we push the button, and this volume just controls the clean side of things. So if I bring it down, it's going to get lower or it's going to get louder. So that controls the volume there. Now if I want something a little more treble, or more of the high end, high frequencies, I can turn that up. It's a little brighter, or I turn it down. It gets a little more warmer sounding, rounder sounding. The mid-range frequencies kind of helps it cut through a little more. Or we can turn that down, and there's like a scoop in the sound, as you can hear. And then with the bass, we can bring the bass down, so it sounds a little more trebly, or bring it up, get a little more bottom end in the sound there. What's nice about the reverb here is go from no reverb to it kind of sounding like it's in a room, but this is called, I think there's probably a digital reverb in here of a spring reverb and emulation. A spring reverb was this little box. Usually, actually, if you buy a tube amplifier, they usually still have them, but it's this little box that creates a reverb sound. But I think this is probably a digital chip or something inside this one. And if I crank it up, kind of like a 50s sound or something like that. So kind of cool. You can kind of get like a reggae sound if you want. Really cool. You can lower it and adjust, and it kind of gives you a nice little room sound. So, let's go to the overdrive channel. Let me activate that. So all the settings will be the same that you had with the clean. And here, this is the volume for it. It says it. And this is the gain. This is how much overdrive or distortion you'll get. So if I lower it, it gives you kind of like a bluesy sound. Closer to the clean sound, just a little more grit, and then I can adjust from there. If I turn it up a little bit, there's a little more grit there. I can keep going. All the way. And you can have a lot of distortion, and that's usually kind of, if you're looking for like a metal tone, that's the way to go. So yeah, that's how this amp works. And a lot of other guitar amps are very similar to this. So if you just stick with those kind of principles, you'll be able to work any other guitar amp. Some have more knobs than others, but basically, usually you just have more control, and they give you controls on each channel. So some might have 2 channels, 3 channels, so you have more control with that. I think in a later video we'll go over a little more complex amp just to show you that, but it's all basically the same. So once you get that down, you'll be fine with the other amps. So that's it for this video for the humbucking guitars and this amp. Next video we'll kind of go over some single coil guitars like this one right here, and maybe we'll do a little more complex amp. So hope to see you next time. Thanks so much. Have a good day.